Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Nova Show, Real Estate Records. I am Carla Rivera, your host, and today I have a very special guest. Barbi is a powerhouse in the real estate world. She was actually raised in California by a real estate investor, so she learned early on that real estate is the best way to build wealth. Now, after 34 years, I know, I can't believe it either, in Utah, she's not only a top real estate agent, but has also helped build multiple businesses. So, including a construction and landscaping company that she runs with her husband. She's passionate about helping clients navigate every stage of the transaction, from investing to designing to building, and really just creating that home of their dreams. On top of that, she co-funded a nonprofit organization to help with athletic equipment for underprivileged kids. So she's really involved in the community. Outside of real estate, Barbi is all about growth, whether it's traveling, golfing, reading, self-development, and also just staying active with her family. She balances business, faith, fitness, and just makes her life an ultimate example of success professionally and personally. So I was very impressed when I met her at one of the classes I was teaching. I looked her up and I'm like, you have to come on the podcast. So thank you for being here and welcome to the Nova Show. I'm excited just to get to know you more because I haven't really gotten the opportunity. But let's dive right in. I'm sure a lot of you are just as curious as I am after that extraordinary background that I just gave. And there's more, so you'll have to read the full bio. But okay, I know that you've been surrounded with real estate really your whole life, right? And I do want to talk about when you decided like this is your calling. Was it something that was organic, or just tell me a little more about that.
Well, thank you for having me. Real estate, you'll see that it's my passion. I love it. So there wasn't a definite date or time. I was lucky enough to be raised with a father that he was an investor. Yeah. He wasn't an agent, but we lived in California. And this is going to age me, but it was in the 80s. And at that time, the best way for him to make money was, rentals. So he had a lot of doors at that time. And so I just followed along and I learned right by him and learned investing, and real estate was the way to make your portfolio stronger. So that's kind of where it happened. And then as I got married and we started doing our own thing, it just grew.
I love that. I love that he took you along for the ride.
Yes.
And then what about your husband? Was he, just for it all along as well? Or how did that come about?
So he was. We both were, when we met, we both were very much, we're not worried about hard work. We're willing to get down and dirty. And so he was like, I'm good with the construction aspect of it. And we did that. In fact, our first home was a trailer, like a mobile home.
Okay.
And we bought it, and you'll die. We bought it for $2,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
In California too.
No, not California.
Oh, okay,
It was here.
Got it. But still, $2,000.
Yes.
You can't even get a car for that.
No, it was quite. Yeah, we found that, and it was good. But we fixed it up, and then we used that money after we sold it for our next home.
Oh, so I love that.
That's kind of where it started.
Yeah, so you flipped it in a sense.
It.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this actually all brings me to my next question. You're not just selling homes, you're also building them.
Yeah.
So I do want to hear a little bit more about that. I mean, did it start with the flips, or how did this come about? And I know you own a construction company as well.
Yeah, we no longer own the construction company.
Oh, okay.
We had to dissolve that, but we did for quite a bit. So that basically started the whole process because my husband's, he kind of found his thing, and I've been right there along with him, painting, sheetrocking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then we actually moved. We found a duplex.
Okay,
And
here
so,
in Utah
in
as
Utah,
well.
yeah, as well, in Provo. And my husband, we were just starting our landscape company at the time, and we wanted to make sure that we were having some passive income.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and it just kind of, trickled down to where we built home after home, and
Wow.
yeah, we moved a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, you were fully integrated into the process. So with that, how many doors do you have now?
So as of right now, I have one.
Okay.
Other than mine, because I kind of found that I don't have the personality to be a landlord.
Okay.
And granted, I could.
It's its own job,
It
right?
is its own job.
I
And
get that.
We've had more in the past, but we kind of moved on from that.
Okay.
So we have quite a bit of real estate.
Yeah.
We just don't have, rentals. We
Like
do
the
have
long-term
commercial
rentals. Oh, okay.
We kind of went that route.
Yeah.
And
So what is your preference in it?
Our preference is basically how much,
Yeah.
money we can make with each door. But for the commercial, we found that we were making more money in this way. But I even was talking to my husband the other day. I said, I'm ready to get a few more doors. So it just depends. It's kind of what comes.
Yeah.
It's
Well, and having
timing.
a background in every part of real estate helps, right? You can just
Right.
pivot as you choose.
Right.
Which, honestly, I know a lot of people have an interest in investing, but there are so many ways you can invest. So what would you say is your biggest piece of advice if someone wants to get started in investment?
Well, first I would say call me.
Yes.
And
Step one, and
there's
you'll
step
handle the
one.
rest.
Call me because I love to empower my clients. I want them
I love
to
that.
know. My goal for them, and I tell them this all the time, my goal is for you to make money because that's what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And real estate has that potential for you to make, a lot of money. So
Well, and
that is my
endless
goal.
streams, right? With all the possibilities.
Yes, there's so many possibilities. Like I said, commercial, land, doors, vacation rentals. There's
Yeah.
so many possibilities. So that's the first thing. And then I basically educate my clients and kind of show them, the route
Like
to go.
all the options.
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you think it's better that they choose one and stick to it, or as long as they're understanding the process, they could really do it all as far as investments go?
I think that the first step is just to take that initial step.
Yeah.
So if you're just beginning, for sure you want someone that you trust. They can kind of go
Absolutely.
that route. I believe in sitting down with, if it's your spouse or your partner or whoever, and making sure that you know what your goals are. Your short term, your long term. Then figure out what you want. If it's just, passive income, then we're going to find, well, maybe it'll start with one door, even if it's a
Yeah.
condo, and then you kind of go from there. The other opportunity that a lot of people don't realize is you don't always have to invest to make money in real estate. A lot of it is just
that's a really
move.
good point.
The best thing you could do is every 2 years move.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's an opportunity as well.
Well, and tell us a little bit more about that, because I know, right, I'm in this industry, but for those of you that have been on the fence about what the power is behind home ownership and how you can take that and invest, right? So what is the magic number of the 2 years, or why the 2 years?
Well, it's great because when you move into a home, you are an individual moving in. So you are allowed to get 3.5%, 5% down. Most people, and there's so many new buyers or even buyers that haven't bought in 20 years, they think you need that 20% down, and you do not.
True.
And that's where you're going to make your money. So you move in and you only put your money down because you may not want to use all of your money. You might want to, do something else with that money so you can make money. So you put your money in your property, and then 2 years from now, usually
There's
your
some
property,
equity, yeah.
you receive the equity, and then you just move on. Some people, their one goal is, I just want that big house. So they move up that way.
Yeah.
Some people say, I want a house.
Multiple properties.
Yeah, I just want a condo. They move in, they move out, they can, rent that condo.
I love it. I love that you, again, because you have experience in every part of real estate, and not very many people can say that. In fact, very few can. But you're able to really help your clients navigate this. Well, and other agents, right? I know you lead a team, so
Yes.
that's helpful too.
Yeah.
And speaking of all the things you juggle, you're also running a landscape company,
Yeah.
right, with your husband. So how does that play a role into all of this?
Well, in the beginning, we were young, and so it taught me the ability to take the business aspect. It's not everyone can have their own business.
Right.
And so that really helped. The other thing that it does help is because my husband has kind of taught me a few things about landscape. I've actually laid sod myself.
Wow,
I've
yes,
actually
you've done it all,
things,
girl.
Yes.
You've
Yes.
gotten your hands dirty
I have
in
gotten
all
my
the
hands
ways.
dirty, for sure. So, I know if I'm helping someone with a new build versus, giving them the option, new build versus, existing home. With a new build, you have a fence that's going to be $12,000. You have, your landscaping that might be $20,000.
Yeah.
You have to look at all of those.
The actual cost versus
Exactly.
what is being
Exactly.
painted.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And then if I have many clients that say, yeah, give me your husband's number, and he's able to help them more than I can.
Oh, I love that. So
Yeah.
now you're also just a bigger resource for all the things
Exactly.
related to a home purchase.
Exactly.
Yeah, the little things we don't think about, right? We're like, yeah, I have a home. Oh, wait, I have to do all the landscaping.
I know.
Nobody told me. Or, right, the repairs. Like,
I know. Exactly.
Not to scare anyone. Still choose home ownership, of course, because that's
sure.
how you build wealth. But yeah,
sure.
it's important to have someone on your court that has the resources or knows how to do the things. And then
Exactly.
now you're a person they trust for life.
Right.
So
And everyone has their own feeling about, some people don't want to buy an existing home. Some people only want to,
yeah,
build. So it really depends on what you want.
I get that. Okay, what has been your preference in all of real estate? Or not preference, but what do you enjoy the most of all the aspects of it?
Oh, I would say I can't narrow it down. I do love working with new buyers.
Okay.
And the reason being is I think it's because I can educate them so much more. It's interesting to me having, kids that are in their 20s. It's interesting to me that they don't understand the concept of how credit is so important. And it starts at the early age of 16.
Yeah.
So to me, I love the education part and that I can help
Well,
them.
and that's a lot of value to be able to teach people just the very basics, right? And then they know what they can do.
Right. Yeah, I love that I can help them in some ways. I guess I like to nurture people. I don't know.
Oh, I love that. Okay, well, so I know, like I mentioned, you're juggling a lot of roles. Business owner, investor, mentor, wife, mother, and grandmother, although I didn't believe you. But how do you balance it all, if that's even a thing, right? I've had this conversation with so many people. It's like, is work-home balance even a thing, or does it all just, ebb and flow together?
Well, I honestly wish there were 3 of me.
Yes.
And that would be nice. I could
hey,
boss
how
them
things
all around.
are going now, that might be an option.
I know, AI, right?
Yes.
One of the things, well, how women, I come back to women, we wear a lot of hats, and
yes,
And it's very hard. You have to have boundaries. You have to have, all your steps. And I found that I actually read a book, and it was called Miracle Morning.
Oh, I've read that one.
Yes.
It's a shorter one.
It's a shorter one.
It's a wonderful book.
And it talks about the 8 minutes in your...
Yeah.
And that changed my life, because I realized that the things, the wins in the morning, you have to do those, and everything kind of flows. And
you set the tone for your day. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. So I believe in that.
About that book.
I believe in that for sure. I believe in flow. And, it doesn't always work out, but my family comes first, but they also realize, mom, grandma has to work so that, we can enjoy the things we enjoy. So, of course. Yeah, it's
And tell me a little bit more about that. So I know you're from... Again, this isn't part of what is on here. I told you I'd surprise you with a couple things, but yeah.
Go for it.
So you're from California, grew up there. Mm-hmm. What brought you to Utah to begin with? And then you met your husband in California, right?
No, Utah.
Oh, it was here.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yes, tell me about this.
I have to admit, I was a California girl, and I did not want to move to Utah.
I don't blame you. I'm trying to move out of Utah.
Right.
No, just kidding.
And it was all the weather. It was the weather.
Yes.
And
Speaking of which, we're looking at snow right now. Yeah.
Exactly. Even though it's beautiful.
Yes.
Snow's not my favorite. Cold's not my favorite. But we came here. My dad got sick. And so my sister had been living up here. And so we just kind of came up here, actually because of the real estate market in Utah.
Oh.
My dad sold some properties in California, and he said, I can come to Utah and, make more money in the real estate at that time.
Okay.
And so that's basically what brought us here. I met my husband, and we just kind of stayed here.
Yeah.
So that's
why.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, not because of the circumstance, but now you've built a whole life here.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said your sister already lived here. Do you come from a big family, or what was that dynamic?
Well, I have 3 sisters.
Oh, wow.
So,
all sisters.
All sisters.
Yeah,
I know.
I have all girls. I know you don't know that, but 3 girls.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, you don't realize how girls fight, so.
I mean, now I'm learning, but where are you at are you middle?
I'm the 3rd.
Okay.
I am middle, classic middle child.
I love it.
Right?
I am a middle child, so I understand.
Yes. Just leave us alone. We want to be in our room.
Yes,
right?
Yes. Great. Okay, so that's wonderful. 3 sisters. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as far as your children and grandchildren, I know family's important to you, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So I have 2 girls that are the oldest, and then I have 2 sons. They're the youngest. So I have 2 and 2.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then I have 5 grandkids.
Oh,
yes.
Congrats. And are they all here in Utah, or have they moved?
Oh,
how wonderful. Really.
Yeah.
Not everyone has that opportunity to grow up.
I'm so lucky.
That way, yeah.
So lucky.
Yes. Well, good. Thank you for telling me a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Just I know that family is high on your list of priorities, and just really your drive too, right? Of this lifestyle you've created for yourself.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, okay, let's come back.
Okay.
So, speaking of, having family be your priority, what is it that drove you to start this nonprofit organization? Because I know you're helping underprivileged kids with their athletic equipment and all of that.
Yeah. So that's a long story, but I'll kind of shorten it. So
I'd
my
love
husband
to hear about it.
and we had decided to do a anniversary trip, and we were going to the Dominican Republic, so the DR.
Yeah.
And my husband last minute kind of said, oh, well, let's just take some clothes and some maybe toys that we don't need that we can help, hand out to some of the people there. And so we had the opportunity, and this is my favorite part of going and helping people, is getting out and meeting all of the individuals, because you just don't know. Everyone's so different, and everyone has such a different story. And I think that's why, tying it back to real estate too, is I love people and their stories and how I can help. So we just went up into the hills and, saw these kids that they had one toy, and there were three kids sharing
with
this
the
one
one.
toy. And we realized, you know what? If they had a ball, more people could play.
Yeah.
So, and then we went to, and the DR is known for baseball, right? There's a lot of...
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So.
there's a lot of really, really good baseball players out there that come from the DR. And we noticed that they were playing with, this was their ball, the water cap.
Oh, wow.
Lid of the bottle.
Oh my gosh, that seems so hard.
Yes. And then they had just a little stick. And that was their bat. So
very resourceful.
Very resourceful. So we decided when I got home, I said to my husband, we need to do something. And so we did. And we started the organization. And unfortunately, I haven't done as much as I would love to because I'm kind of busy. But we have kind of coupled with another organization that's the Starfish Starfish Foundation, sorry. And they're amazing because they build homes for people in the DR. And they're actually right now building a girls' home to help all of the girls that are human trafficked.
Wow.
And they're able to help them with their lives to get out of that.
Yeah. Wow,
so
that's amazing.
It's really awesome.
Oh, that's so rewarding. Those are the parts that I think I love most about this industry, is that you touch so many lives, and with what you're able to make, you can give back as well.
Yeah.
That's so impactful.
Yeah.
But not everyone does it, right? Not everyone is in it to give back and to make a difference. So it's beautiful to know there's people out there making a big difference.
Yeah, well, thank you. I believe in what you give out, you get back. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's clearly it's happening, right? You've been very successful. Yeah. I think you were born into this, though. It sounds like maybe you were doing real estate in the womb.
Yeah, I was.
From what I'm learning. I love it. So yes, you were built for this all along.
Yes.
So how wonderful. Okay, well, if kind of just coming back to what you do focus on, right, as far as designing, building, all those things, if someone is designing and building their dream home, what's something that you've seen where people have cut corners that you would point out, or I'll give an example and then you can take it from here. I've heard a lot of times with new construction, it's the builder does their own, right? Their own inspections. Maybe we don't need to do that. So that came to mind when I was thinking of questions. But what are some other things that you know of that are just oh my gosh, please don't cut these corners, and could be helpful for other agents and also, of course, people that are thinking about buying or selling?
Well, I always believe in an inspection. So for sure, I would say definitely.
Even if they did one?
Even do an inspection. And it really depends, because you can have some buyers that, they have a dad that's really good. And the builders have already done the inspection, and then they decide, okay, well, I'll look.
Yeah.
So obviously I can't push inspections, but it's part of the due diligence. And so I really, I think that's something that you definitely need to do. It just saves in the long run, maybe. The other thing that you mentioned is, I think dream home is the key word, because if I was to say someone doing their dream home, it might be different than a first-time buyer.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good point.
Because if someone wants...
You're going to have less things you're willing to let go of in your dream home. Yeah.
And you might have more finance. You might be able to afford, the third or fourth car garage versus...
Now these are non-negotiables.
Exactly. So I do sit down with people and say, let's talk about your goals. Is this truly your dream home? And if it is, then, and you have the money, spend the money on the brick exterior or the rock exterior or the 4-car garage. Those are the things. Structural, you definitely want to spend the money on. But if you only have $10,000 and you're going into a design center, and you feel overwhelmed, I would say only spend money on, the cabinets or the counters, something you can't change later on.
Yeah.
Paint's easy, things like that.
Of course. Do you enjoy the design process?
I love it.
Yeah? Oh, that's fun.
I love to design, and I have buyers that just go with it, and I don't have to do much, and I just sit there and give them my, input.
Yeah.
And then I have buyers that say,
like,
I
help.
don't know what to do.
SOS.
And they basically say, Barbie, you help me.
I love that so much. I am that person where I have such a high appreciation for people's creativity, but I just like to be given the options, and then I'm like, perfect, let's go with that.
Yeah.
So that's fun to have someone, again, you're such a professional, right? But you've got all this experience and you enjoy those parts of the whole process, where I think we forget these pieces are super important too. And that's what makes building a home exciting. It's being able to choose those specific things or customizing little pieces that we couldn't otherwise do.
For sure. And realtors are oftentimes therapists, because building a home can
wearing
be
all those hats
hard on a marriage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice for me to be the middleman, where I can say, this is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
And then the husband or the wife say, oh, okay, we'll go that route.
I love that. Well, and speaking of marriage, it's probably great that you and your husband are doing this together, because you have that understanding of, right, you're not working the typical hours, you're needing to be in places and available for people. But how great that you have a partnership in life, not just at home.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I'm lucky.
Well, you've obviously done the work to have this opportunity in this life, so that's amazing. And again, you were born into it, so you had to go this route.
Yeah.
Well, not had to, but you stayed with the route. So, well, wonderful. I have had the opportunity to do new construction for one of my personal homes, and I think the design part was my favorite. Yeah. Just because everything else, it's so important, but I'm like, it's standing. We're good.
Exactly.
So that is fun.
Yes, it is fun.
Yeah. Well, okay, and in Utah, we have quite a bit of builders, right? So also there's all these different styles and ways to go about it. Have you worked with many of the builders here?
I have.
Yeah.
I've worked with quite a few builders. I've worked with, I look at the builders as in, really custom, semi-custom, and, kind of the track home.
Yeah.
So I've worked with all of them.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so very resourceful in
Yes.
all of the ways. If you guys need a whole design process, Barbie can help, or just take you to the home ready to go.
For sure. Yeah, I know a lot of builders, so.
That's good. It's also really great to be able to have those relationships.
Yes.
Right? Especially with the builders, where contracts look a little different. Everybody has their specific things, and so that's very important as well.
Yeah, and the builders agents trust me because I've worked with them before.
Yeah.
And so I can say, this isn't going to work. This is better for my client, and I actually have gotten a lot done because of that.
Yeah.
So,
well, right. Like you said, they've worked with you before, so they know it's going smooth. I'm sure your clients think that way as well.
Yeah.
At this point, you probably have a lot of repeat clients and referrals.
I do.
Yeah. That's a great place to be in.
Yeah.
But wonderful. Well, okay, so relationships are so important, not just in this industry, but I can feel that it's very important to you. You've brought up a couple of times just having those relationships and how it helps things go smooth. But I know you are passionate about personal growth. So what are some of the things that you do, like on a daily? Do you have certain rituals, or I guess rituals is not the best word, but routines?
There
right?
might, you never know.
I mean, I guess
you never know.
Meditation, prayer, right? Like working out. I was going to say moving your body. That's also working out.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what are some of the things? Because I feel like people are always so excited to hear about, you're obviously a shining star in our industry, but where they really get the opportunity to learn is by plugging into the things that are helping make you successful, keep a clear mind, and a positive attitude. So if you're open to sharing some of that, I would love to hear it.
For sure. First thing I can say, it's not easy. You know, I think a lot of
nothing
people,
worth it is.
Yes, I think a lot of people think, oh yeah, it came easy for her or it came easy for him. And it's not. I mean, I still am one of those people that think, oh, I have to get out of bed. I have to go
that doesn't
get
ever
on
go
my
away.
treadmill. I have to go,
no.
you know, whatever. I do believe in keeping positivity around me. My friends used to joke all the time because I will be reading 3 or 4 different self-help books.
I love
at a
that.
I'm kind of bad about that.
Well, I usually read 2 or 3 books, not all self-growth, but also because I'll be like, oh, this is a little too much, and then I pivot and come back.
Yes.
So that's fun to know I'm not the only one.
You're not the only one. I think, okay, today I'm going to listen to this, you know, or this podcast, or, you know, this audiobook. Right now I'm listening to Let Them.
Oh, I just finished that one.
It's amazing.
Isn't it? Okay, here's the thing. You guys hear it on audio for sure.
Yeah,
because it's a quicker read, but
you might want to mark it though.
Yeah, that's true. For me, what happened, I didn't even notice, maybe you can speak to this. I immediately just started shifting my reaction to things because I'm like, I can't control this. I'm going to let them and then let me show up. However.
Yeah. And that's one thing I like about that, because a lot of times we can say, oh, let them.
But what are we
that
doing?
Next step.
Yes.
And making yourself better is all about action.
Absolutely.
You know, you have to think about it and then you have to move.
Well, that's a great point. I a lot of times meet people that have great ideas, dreams, goals, and then what?
Yeah.
So you hit it like spot on. Without action, there is no outcome.
Right, exactly. And, you know, if we go with real estate, I have people that say, oh, I'm so worried. I'm so nervous about taking that first step. Well, you have to.
Yeah.
That is part of it.
Well, even a consultation, right? Like that is the first step, and people avoid it like it's...
Talk to your lender, the first
COVID.
step. Exactly.
Like, I'm just trying to help. Yeah.
They're afraid. And really, honestly, everyone is afraid.
Yeah.
It's just that fear.
It's our nature.
It is our nature. And I don't blame them. I mean, there's so many things we all fear. But yeah, that's kind of what I do.
So you read a lot.
I read a lot. And it's not like I'm always reading because I can't. You know, most of it's like in the car when I'm driving around. But I do, you know, I do believe I have a strong faith, and I also love to exercise. I love to run. I love to hike.
Oh, that's amazing. So you take advantage of our beautiful mountains.
I do. You have to have that time for you.
Yeah.
You really do. Because, you know, you can't just give.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's
eventually
so
you'll
woman,
go on
right?
dry. Yes.
That's so woman.
Well, and realtors. So you
realtor,
have it double.
Mom,
you're a woman and a realtor.
Exactly.
So you wear all the hats all the time.
I do. I do.
Well, what would you say, again, surprising you with things, what would you say has been your biggest support in all of this? Has it been your faith? Has it been your upbringing, your partner? I mean, not to say one is more than the other, right? But I would love to hear that, because I also think it's so important, especially in this industry, whether you're the consumer or you are one of the professionals, it's important to have a solid foundation where you have support.
Yeah. I would definitely say my faith.
Yeah.
I have a strong faith. I have been extremely blessed, but I also know that I have tried to better myself. I don't just expect,
you've put the work in.
My faith to carry me. I also have, I've been lucky. My husband's amazing. I have a great family. I'm like, they taught me so many things. So I think that those things have helped, but I also know that from an early age, I've always kind of been driven. I think that's my personality. I kind of lucked out.
Well, and that isn't something you can teach people, right?
Yeah.
You either have a drive or you do not. You can teach everything else, but if there's no action, then it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I guess that part is lucky to be born with a drive.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Not that it's always there. Like I said,
but you're doing the work to get back to it. Especially on these cold mornings, maybe.
I know.
It's like, oh, my bed's so much warmer.
I know. For sure.
Is there, okay, so this is also just kind of random, but I'm always curious to know what people answer on this. Do you wake up really early, or what is your time
to
start?
Okay. I used to wake up at 5:30 and I'd run at 6. I had a few injuries, so I wasn't able to run the last couple of years. So I slacked off, and now I get up like at 7:38.
Okay,
but if I have a perfect morning, I'm up at 7.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'm just always curious to know, because I personally believe you can be productive at any time as long as you are given those moments that are undivided, right? Or you block out time. But then I've also heard the power of waking up earlier and all the things. So I always like to ask, like,
I mean,
what
because
that looks like.
Some people are not morning people. Yes. Obviously, most people have to go to work.
And then you're less productive.
And then you're
in a bad mood, complaining.
And you need
counterproductive.
Yes.
I get that. Okay, well, it's nice to be able to also shift that, though, right? Like, if there's a circumstance and you're willing to pivot, that's actually more powerful. Like, you had an injury, so you made an adjustment, and now you're still doing the things.
Yeah.
So,
if I could, I would wake up earlier.
Yeah. So you keep saying running, so you're an avid runner then.
I love to run.
Yeah, awesome. Have you done some of the marathons here or the halves?
I have done 2 marathons.
Wow, that's awesome. That's another level of dedication. I've done halves.
Halves are great.
I'm like, oh boy, they still have another half to go.
I know. It's daunting, for sure.
But what has been your favorite one here in Utah?
So I've only ever run the St. George.
Oh, cool.
I've done it twice.
That would be a pretty one.
I trained to do it my third, and my 20-miler, I got an injury, so I wasn't able to. I haven't ran one since, but I'm ready. I'm ready to get out there and, do another one.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully soon, right? In the next couple months, we get our spring.
I know.
Although the view is beautiful, but I am ready for the warmth. Okay, I love that. I actually have never met, and maybe I'm wrong, but just personally, I have never met someone that is successful in their business that isn't also active in their body. I feel like that's such an exchange or release of energy where you're able to just dump out the funk that happens in our headspace, and then even just taking breaths more consciously because you have to when you're moving your body.
For sure. I learned a lot training for marathons.
Yeah.
Because you can't stop.
Yeah.
You have to dig deep. And
there's moments I'm sure you want to.
Oh,
yeah.
For sure. For sure.
And your body's like, we're done here.
Yes. Yes.
But the power of
Mile
the mind.
24, yes.
Oh, man. Oh, I can't even imagine. Even a half was quite extensive for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good accomplishment. Good job.
Well, now I need to try for this. So.
Yeah. We'll train together.
Oh, yes. I would love that. Okay. Making plans. And with action, of course.
Exactly. Exactly.
I love it. Okay. So since we're in the topic of Utah and all the beautiful, honestly, we have such beautiful opportunities here, from the lakes, the mountains, going down to southern Utah. It's almost like you're in a different state.
Yeah.
So with that, I know you've been here. I don't even believe this, but this woman has been here for over 3 decades. And I just want to know what to you makes Utah stand out, right? Like not just for real estate, but in general, if someone's looking to come here, what is it that stands out to you and keeps you here?
So Utah is just beautiful. I mean, we have so much to take advantage of. We have all these national parks, the mountains, we have skiing. There's, not many states have all of the things.
Yeah.
So for sure that. The second,
our outdoor opportunities are...
Right. And I think that there's a feeling in Utah, I mean, obviously not everyone's happy and lovey, but I do think that there's an overall feeling of happiness. I really do, because I've had people come from other states and they're like, everyone's so nice here.
I have heard that as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And at first I've even had people be like, we weren't sure if they were being real or fake.
Right.
And it took us a couple years to realize people are just nice here. I'm like, oh boy.
And they talk to you and they're friendly. And so, it's not everyone, and people are going to say, well, I'm not sure if I believe that. But I think overall, if you were to look at the whole state, I think you would see
the
happy
culture
people.
Is happy.
And the other is, I think there's so many people here that are go-getters. They are entrepreneurs. They are willing to try. They're willing to take those next step and be innovators. And because of that, we have a really good economy.
We do. Yeah.
So, and even now that, people might be nervous about the world or politics or whatever, or the interest rates, we still have good economy.
Absolutely. And it continues to grow. We have people coming here, expanding their businesses and all the things. Yeah.
And whether we like it or not, we have more land and there will be more growth.
That's true.
And, I'm someone from, not born in Utah, so I feel like I can't say anything, but I just welcome everyone because I think that's why I'm here. It's sad to say,
is anyone really from Utah?
Exactly.
Technically, no, right?
Yes,
None of us are.
Right.
But I feel that I'm also not from here, and I'm always so grateful. Yeah. I remember growing up thinking I would move away, and then I do love to travel. Do you like traveling?
I love to travel.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
But then every time I'm very appreciative, and I think that's a good way of learning, right? Is when you put yourself in a new place.
Oh,
but
for sure.
I always find myself like, okay, I'm ready to go back home.
I know.
And it is a lot about the views too, because we take for granted what we have, right? Like that's so cliche and we hear that saying so much, but until we are gone for a while, we're like, oh, I do miss those mountains, or the culture, the friendliness of having a smile at the store, or if you're lost, you can still safely get out, ask the questions and all the things. So I just wanted to kind of piggyback that because I hear it a lot from people, especially these last 5 years where we've had more movement, right, from other states or even other countries, and people are like, oh, it's different here.
Yeah. There's a lot of investors that are coming from other places, and they are investing
I love that.
here.
Yeah. Have you ever invested outside of Utah, or is that something that you would want to do?
I have not outside of Utah. That's kind of a goal.
Okay.
And
so it's in the long-term plan.
Yeah, it's the long term.
Yeah.
My husband and I often think if we didn't have family around, we would just go and live on a boat in the Caribbean.
Ooh,
right?
Yes.
But, you have to be able to financially do that.
Our family needs us. Yeah.
Our family, I'll braid hair and he will fish. But
I love it.
One of my goals is hopefully someday maybe have a second home and by the ocean.
Okay, this is actually my next question.
Okay.
So if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh, yeah, like I said, if we didn't have family, we'd be on a boat.
Yeah.
I would probably live here.
Yeah.
I would have my
but with the option to travel everywhere.
And an option to, and I never thought I'd say that because growing up in California, but there's just something about what
wanting
we were
to
talking
come
about.
home.
There's a peace, and
Yeah.
and of course my family's here. So if they all came with me, maybe I would.
Well, hey, if you got like a cruise type boat, you could take the whole family.
We could. I could have my own little private island someday.
And right now, that's a little safer than other options.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. So if it wasn't about money, I would probably be on my own little island with my family.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Well, okay, this has been so wonderful. I always love these opportunities I get to know people, and our industry is so abundant, right? So I see the hustle. I know you're doing big things, but who you are at your core is what defines the experience for not only your clients, but people in the industry, right? So I would love to have you share, just if you could go back. I know, well, we can't actually go back because, again, you started in the womb, but when you, as an adult, took on real estate and that journey, what would be a piece of advice you would give yourself?
So I've often thought this, I've watched the TikTok things that say, what would you give your advice to? My advice is start early, especially with real estate. Real estate is something, out of all the investments you could make, it's just something that you're going to make money at.
I love that. Very calculated.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I would start early.
Can be.
I have clients that are, as early as 20 buying homes.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's important. And so if I could go back, I would start early. I would probably buy more investments. Okay. And I that's what I would be doing different, because I just know that seeing what I've done myself financially, I could have done more.
Oh, yeah.
And I
was
a little nervous.
Now,
yes.
Or if you knew then what you know now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And obviously we don't, but especially, and this is what I was always taught. In your 20s, start the process. You have a job, you have a good job. Mm-hmm. You can risk maybe more. You can risk maybe more in your 30s. 40s, you can still risk. Maybe when you get older, you're not as willing to risk things. But if that's something you want to do, take a few risks.
Yeah. It really is never too late to start something.
Oh, for sure.
Especially in real estate.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I love this. And again, I'm like so shocked that you even have grandkids. I feel so much youth from you and excitement, and just like you have so much energy still to share and help people. So that is magnetic. Yeah. Well, and also thank you for making time to meet with me. I know we hadn't, like, we met one time, but it has been so great. And I hope it's okay. I want to give people the opportunity to connect with you.
I would love that.
So yes, whether it's within our industry, because a lot of people can learn from you, or just people that are on the fence, right? Whether it's buying, selling, investing, commercial, because you are a one-stop for all. So where can people contact you?
So they can email me. My email is Barbi Schramm 91. Barbie's spelled without the E.
Yes, but she does look like Barbie.
Yeah. I don't know, but
marketing ideas.
Yeah, there you go. Barbi Schramm 91 at Gmail. And my phone number is 801-372-2344. I answer all calls. I would love for you to call me. I am on Insta. I'm on Facebook, TikTok, all of those places.
Oh, you're on TikTok. You gotta teach me.
Oh, yeah, I'm on TikTok.
I am not yet, so yes.
It's
awesome. I love it.
LinkedIn, I'm on all of them, so.
That's amazing. Okay, well, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the public or your peers, me?
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, of course.
Sure.
It's been such an honor to have you here.
I was very impressed, so I was excited.
That.
So I appreciate that. And, I just want everyone to know that don't be afraid. start that process. And it's who you have around you that will help you. And you need a good team.
Absolutely.
You need people helping you. And whether it's me or, whoever, just find someone that will lead you in that area. But I just take that first step for sure.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And you guys, thank you for tuning in. As always, it's such a pleasure. We will, of course, drop all the places that you can follow Barbi. And it's been an honor having you. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you guys next time.
See ya.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please rate us, like us, and share this podcast with our real estate community. The Nova Show Real Estate Record, sharing raw stories of real estate, failures, lessons, wins, and successes. This is all from Novation Title, bringing a different experience into your world so that we can all uplift each other. Until next time.